Shall we?
We shall.
You want to open us up?
Welcome back to Live at All. Welcome, guys.
Let's go with that.
Happy 2026. We're always trying to think of new creative ways to have our little welcome, and we've gotten pretty good.
I think so too.
I think we have. We had some good ideas this morning over coffee. So welcome back. Happy 2026. We are so happy to be coming into this new year and, new beginnings.
Yeah.
Right? New things on the horizon, new guests.
We're going to be coming up on our 1-year anniversary soon, and we're not going to dive deep on this episode on that because we are super pumped about an upcoming anniversary episode. So we'll kind of keep that part.
And for any budding podcasters that are listening to this episode, we didn't think we'd make it to a year. We almost didn't.
Well, I would argue otherwise. I would argue that we insisted upon ourselves that we do keep going and we do make it, but there were moments that were touch and go.
We had to push, and I'm so proud of us.
We had to really push.
We pushed, and so if you're a budding podcaster and you're thinking of giving up and you're thinking that it's getting really hard, because it gets really hard. It gets really hard. And my advice, I don't know if it's Melanie's advice, but my advice is to keep pushing.
Yeah, but we'll dive in a little deeper on that here. So
yes.
Anywho, this is episode 40. It is the first time Gina and I are sitting down together this new year. We're just kind of psyched to see what this new year is going to bring.
Yes. And I'm going to say, we have gotten feedback from some of our listeners that love these unprepped episodes.
Yeah.
So we want to be intentional about listening to what our listeners want and say. And so we are, again, in the planning process of, just trying to make all that happen for us and for our listeners. Because some people just love to listen to us gab.
I like to listen to us gab.
I do too. Oh, and yes, I'm Gina.
And I'm Melanie. For those of you who are new around these parts, we thought it would be a good idea opening up into this new year. And I don't know, maybe even every episode we kind of toss the idea around of, because some of you guys are just listening. And even for those of you who are watching, like, it occurred to us, like, do we introduce ourselves? Do we just assume people know who we are? So I'm Melanie.
I'm Gina. And we kind of sound the same. So, right? Don't you think? So yeah. I don't know if
we sound the same when we're together because for some strange reason, whenever you're around, my native Texas accent like ramps up like significantly. Yeah. I don't have much of a Southern accent when you're not around.
And I get really bad when I'm around my sister because my sister has an even worse Texas accent twang, which I love, but I take it on.
Isn't that so weird? It's weird. Like you have a twang anyway, but you're saying your twang gets worse when you're around your sister.
Gets elevated.
I don't really think I have much of a twang normally unless you're around, and then all of a sudden I'm twangy all the time.
And then we start like melding into one person. It's just like, but no, there are two of us. I'm Gina. This is Melanie.
And this is the why of it all. And we talk about, as our tagline shows, healing journeys and inspiring stories. And Gina and I, on these unprepped episodes, you guys are following along in our healing journeys. And Gina and I we don't have a filter and we're not hiding anything ever. So we like to just be very open and real and vulnerable and authentic. And if you like that sort of thing, you're probably going to like this show, especially if you yourself are moving through your own healing journey. And then the other thing we like to do when we're not doing these unfiltered, unplanned, unscripted, organic, off-the-cuff conversations that we call unprepped. The reason we call it unprepped, we should tell people, is because in the first year of the why of it all, we beat our heads against a wall almost every episode trying to like outline every episode and make notes and research things and like pre-plan the whole episode, even to the point of being scripted sometimes. And it took a while, but we figured out that kind of sucks.
It was not off.
It sucks for our own mental health and the amount of energy we were putting into it. And it's also just, we like to be authentic and just let it fly. We're just going to let it fly.
And I do want to give us props because one of our guests that we interviewed yesterday gave us confirmation that she loves us being so vulnerable. And she was like, not a lot of people can come on air and air all of their fears and healing journeys. And some of the episodes last year I was scared to do, and for a while. It took a while, remember, for me to do the abusive relationship episode. So I commend us for being able to put all this out for the world to listen to, because that takes an amount of vulnerability you have. And we still keep things private. There are things that, you know, I may never share on this platform, and that's okay. But I just give us props for being super vulnerable, because it does take a really big amount of vulnerability to admit that we are on this journey
and that we don't have it all figured out yet.
No. We're trying.
We're working on it, and we do have a lot of tools. We have gathered a lot of tools. We have learned a lot along our own personal journeys. And somehow for you and I both, talking about it, talking it out like we do, has been healing for us. So
Yes.
As we have said a number of times before, our goal when we started this podcast almost a year ago was that if we can be our authentic selves and put it out there, and one person out there in the world feels like they can resonate with it, it helps someone feel less alone, or some tool that we present or one of our guests presents is the perfect tool for that person that allows them to take a big leap forward in their own healing journey, then the whole thing has been worth it.
Yes. And let me also say that our guests that we bring on have been healing for us.
Yeah.
You know, some of the things that we hear from them, that's why we like having these amazing guests on, for not just you guys, but for us too. I'm learning so much. I'm healing through listening to these people that have their own healing journeys, to have their own stories of, from, you know, living in their vehicles to, or being incarcerated, to now, you know, being so successful and really stepping into their purpose. So that's been healing for me, is to have the guests on that we've had.
Yeah. And for those of you who are new around here, the type of guests that we like to bring on are people who have been through tremendous adversity. They have moved through their own healing journeys. They've experienced incredible traumas, but have gotten to the point where they can essentially, their mission is what we feel our mission is to take what we have learned along the way, the reference points that we have gained from our tragic experiences of the past, and flip it 180 degrees to be a contribution to humanity, to give back to humanity in some way. And so oh my God, you guys, we had a couple of interviews yesterday that are going to freaking knock your socks off.
Seriously. And even the one we just released was amazing.
Oh, if you guys
Darcy.
if y'all have not watched our previous episode 39 that we just released this past week with Darcy Birch,
Go back.
if you haven't seen that one yet, do yourselves a favor.
Go back. It's great.
She has a phenomenal story. She's an incredible positive force, and we just absolutely love that conversation.
And we support our fellow podcasters. Yeah. We do. We really do. Because we know we don't get paid to do this. We take time out of our hectic job.
No, it costs us money to do this.
It costs us money. We are in the hole right now. But that's okay. We're not doing it for the money. And maybe one day we make money and that happens. But really,
if we should be so blessed to eventually finally have this thing make money for us, then that will be wonderful. But it's not why we're doing it.
But we had this conversation yesterday off air, and I want to get to something in just a minute. But you said it 2 times in the kitchen yesterday as we were getting ready to leave the house. You said, what did you say about if you do what you love, and you do what you love, it never feels like work.
Yeah, you'll never work a day in your life as long as you love what you do.
Correct.
And so that's our target.
That's our target. We really started this not for that purpose.
We started this because it was a passion project and because we felt divinely inspired to do so.
Correct.
So anyway, we hope you guys will stick with us and join with us as we go forward. Absolutely plan on checking out definitely episode 39 we just did, and the next 2 interviews we have coming out over the course of the next month. They are amazing.
Yes.
Seeing as how this is our New Year's episode, essentially, Gina.
Yes.
What is your intention for this year?
What is my intention? Or have I set an intention?
Yes, have you?
The one thing that has at the end of 2025, the one thing that kind of was my force going into 26 is to shedding all the old. So I know I'm going somewhere else. I'm not saying intention. I don't know if I really have an intention for this year, to be honest. I can't say that I've written something out, but in my heart, in the prayers that I've said to myself or the things that resonate, is basically shedding 2025 completely, because 2025 was a doozy.
Yeah.
It was a doozy. Okay? It was a doozy for me personally.
One of the podcasters I follow, his whole mantra for 2025 was endeavor to survive 2025. Because like every time, everywhere you look on both the macro, collective level and on the individual level, it was just a doozy.
It's a doozy. And I guess for me, going into 2026, I want to shed anything that did not serve me in 2025. There were so many things that needed to be shed and released. And so this year, 2026 for me is all about coming into my own. I've worked really hard. I've and of course this is a ever evolving journey, the healing journey, right? But I feel like I've made great strides in 2020.
Oh, yeah.
So this year I'm turning 50 in a week from today. So that's also kind of looming, and really, when you're almost half a century old, for me, you start to think about your own mortality, and you start to think about, what have I accomplished? Where am I going? More than half of my life is already done. So my intention is to be more intentional in 2026, to be more present, to work really hard at all of my jobs, which is a podcaster, a full-time employee at a financial institution, and a full-time mom. So, and a full-time friend. That's my intention, to be intentional with all the moves that I make this year. See my time as something that I can never get back, because you can't. You'll never get time back. And time is just going so fast. And with a teenager that is growing right before my eyes, and it's like, he's going to be out of the house in 3 or 4 years. It is just flying. And so my intention is to be intentional.
I love it.
What about you? Have you set an intention for 26?
Yeah. New Year's Eve, Ben was already fast asleep by 10 o'clock.
But, no surprise.
No, but my 10-year-old Violet and I, we watched a movie and stayed up till midnight, like watching movies, how we kept ourselves awake. And right at the countdown, we walked out into the driveway, and there was, in the neighborhoods surrounding our house, people were popping fireworks off all over the place. We could see some of the fireworks going up through the trees, from our driveway. And we just sat there. We brought a blanket outside. We were standing out in the driveway, wrapped up in a blanket, just holding each other and hugging each other, and just enjoying ringing in the new year together. And I asked her what her intention was, and she asked me what my intention was. And I sat there for a moment. I thought, what popped into my head? It was several episodes ago. It was around Thanksgiving. We talked about the famous quote from Neville Goddard, and I said that real carefully because if you guys followed that episode, you'll know how hard that is for me to say. Neville Goddard: assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and then rest in that feeling. And that's my intention for 2026.
That's your intention.
It's to fall in love with my life the way it is right now. Already, instead of always being in a state of, like, some people live in the past. I will say I have a tendency to live in the future. I have a tendency to be like, oh, this is where I'm going to go, and this is what I want to do, and I have all these desires, like my desires,
which is good.
I feel them very intensely. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
However, it is my personal belief that in order to expand into those desires, you have to recognize and have gratitude for your life the way it is. Like, if I want to have this, and this that are going to make me feel a certain way, make me feel secure, make me feel abundant, make me feel comfortable. If I have all these desires, it is my personal belief that I have to embody the energy of those feelings right now in order to welcome them in.
So true.
So looking for how can I have gratitude for the moments that I feel well physically in my body. Those of you who've been watching our show for a while understand that Gina's healing journey includes relationship stuff, emotional relationship
mental,
stuff. Mine is predominantly physical body stuff.
but also nervous system.
Physical body. So how can I, in the moments where I'm feeling very well, how can I just be in a juicy state of gratitude for that feeling in the moment? In the moments in my life where I feel like I'm feeling very abundant, instead of always being like, oh, when I have enough money, I'll be able to do this. Well, how about having gratitude for the moments right now where there's something I desire and I have the money to have that thing now? Yeah. Really milk in those moments.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So
I love that.
So that has been my intention, I think, for 2026 is fall in love with my life right now and embody the feeling now of the life that I would like to have at some point in the future, and also feel that way right now,
and also the life that you have currently, because you have a beautiful life.
I really do. I mean, if I have shit I can bitch about, but
I mean, we all do.
We do, right? We do. But the truth is I do have a beautiful life.
You really do.
And so instead of always being in a state of I'll feel better when, really being in gratitude.
And I think that also involves being present in your current life too.
You just took the words right out of my mouth. That was exactly where I was going to go next.
We always do that.
That is what it requires, is having gratitude in the present moment.
Yeah. And even in the mundane, because I know as mothers, there's so many things that we are responsible for and that we do. Yeah. Just something as simple as folding clothes or scrubbing the toilet or doing the dishes. Like those things, you're doing it and you're like, God, it's just a chore, I have to do it. But really looking at it with gratitude, like, oh, I have a house that actually has a dishwasher.
Thank God for indoor plumbing.
Thank God for indoor plumbing. There are people all over the world right now that would give anything to have a dishwasher or to have clothes to fold. So I guess it's just, I'm just mirroring what you're saying as far as just being grateful. And I feel like anytime I'm grateful and I start my day like that with my morning gratitude and prayers, it's like God answers them so much quicker. Does that make sense? Like when I'm grateful and then I'm asking, I pray for the things that I want, the things that I need. And also to realize that those prayers are actually probably pretty small when really God really wants to probably bless you in a much bigger exponential way. And so anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But one thing I want to touch on, because this is the first time we've seen each other in about a month. Yeah. Right? This is our first weekend. We took a little break for the holidays. We wanted to spend time with our families, be present.
And for those of you who are new around here, Gina lives about 2 hours away. So the way that we do this is about every 2 to sometimes 3 weeks. Gina drives to my house, and over the course of a weekend, we hammer out 2 to 3 episodes at least that we pre-record, and then we release them each week.
Right. And so it's a road trip every time. And I could complain about that, but I love now my little Austin. I look forward to driving to and from because I get to listen to podcasts. So it's actually a time for me to be quiet and to listen to other podcasters that I love and get tips or get, just learn, just be in my little element. So anyway, but what I want to talk about is something that, let me back up. So we haven't seen each other in a month and we had a lot of downtime during the holidays. I was off for a while, Melanie's child was off for a while. We just had this lull and I was actually sick on Christmas Day. I didn't get to attend Christmas festivities with my family. I had a raging migraine. So I was kind of down and out. And I, over the holidays, had a lot of time on my hands. So what that means for me is that I was alone a lot. I was alone. I was forced to be with my thoughts. I was forced to sit with myself. And with that, if you've ever done that and you ever take the time and you don't distract and you don't and not that I'm saying I didn't watch shows and get on my phone and probably spend way too much time on TikTok. Like, I'm not saying that I didn't do any of that, but the 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 loneliness that sets
Mm.
in when your child is gone, when you don't have a friend around, when you don't have a partner, a husband, a boyfriend, whatever, there was this loneliness that really sunk in, and it forced me to feel it and to cry about it, and it was really upsetting for me. But feeling those feelings that came up, I let myself sit in the muck.
Mm-hmm.
I let myself feel. I remember, I think I called you a week ago or something. I
Mm-hmm.
remember I was struggling, and I was like, remember, I don't remember what it was about. It doesn't matter, but I just had a lot of loneliness over the
Mm-hmm.
holidays. My father wasn't there to celebrate with us. My son wasn't, he was gone. I had friends that I talked to here and there that, a little communication, but I just think that a lot of people over the holidays, it can be a hard time for them. I feel,
Yeah, I
right?
think that's really very, very common.
Yeah, and so I just want to admit that the holidays were very lonely for me this
Mm-hmm.
year. And it's not that I didn't have little pockets of
Mm-hmm.
moments that were great, like Christmas Eve. I went to um, um, Christmas Eve service at church with my mom and my son. And then we went and saw the Christmas lights. So, I had these beautiful moments, but then it's like after Christmas Day, my son was gone. I was by myself, and it was very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
That's when all, for me, the thoughts, the loneliness, the what am I doing, the I'm about to be 50, uh, you know, this just feels uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just dealt with a lot of that over the holidays. I don't know if you resonate with any of that, or if, I mean, your husband travels for work, so you are alone a lot.
Well, I
Maybe
mean, not really,
not
because
as
my
yes.
daughter's always around.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
loneliness is not the
It's
thing
not.
that I've struggled with. But
Yeah.
before we move on to me, I want to ask you,
Mm-hmm.
have you reflected on all of that besides just the acknowledgement of the feelings, which is important? It's
Mm-hmm.
important for people to recognize what's coming up for them.
Mm-hmm.
But have you reflected on, okay, this under these circumstances, the
Mm-hmm.
loneliness came up.
Mm-hmm.
What does that indicate? Have you reflected on
It's a great
what
question.
are the growth opportunities in knowing that?
M- Huge growth opportunities, and I already feel it after now being in the new year and starting fresh again, which I see every year as a new beginning, a new age, all that. I feel like it is, when I reflect on it, I think about the growth opportunity that I have there, and the opportunity that I have to be more secure in myself, be
Mm.
more secure in enjoying my own company, be more secure in really having a life that a lot of people would die for.
I mean,
Like,
honestly, you just asked me, do I ever get lonely? And I'm like, no. When I get the house to myself, it's like freaking, I'm celebrating, like, hallelujah. I love my husband and daughter to the
yes,
moon and back. But if I can have a Melanie alone time,
for like a few days.
please,
Could you
I will take
don't
it.
tease you with a good time?
Don't tease me with a good time.
So I do have a realization that, I mean, I have friends that are married and they're like, girl, I would give anything to have a week to myself and nobody around messing
I
with me.
mean,
So I
like when you like what pops into my head immediately is like I would like clean the kitchen and then it would just stay clean.
yes,
What?
right?
I don't know what that would even be
It's
like.
magical. But another thing too, when I reflect on those, also loneliness for me helps me get in touch with my spiritual side.
Hmm.
So really having to lean on the man above
Hmm.
really came into play.
Hmm.
So lots of prayer time, lots of praying myself back to sleep when I had insomnia and I couldn't sleep. Lots of just being more in my soul, having to sit with my soul and knowing where that soul is connected. And that's beautiful. And even if it was painful, it was painful. There were a few days where I cried and I couldn't really, it's like sometimes you're crying, you don't know really why you're crying. The things pop up, but it's like it's a mishmash, of things that they're crying about. And when I get on my knees like that, or get really sad, or really feel my feelings, I, the only way I know to look is up to God. And that's how I get through those hard times. And yeah, I guess just reflecting it really just made me realize that I still have work to do on myself and being secure.
Oh, you mean you're not all the way healed yet?
No.
Okay.
No. Feeling worthy. Yes. Feeling empowered. Feeling like I can create the life that I want all by myself. I don't have to have a partner, a husband, a whatever, to create a beautiful life. I can create it just by myself. And I think that's a beautiful thing.
What comes up for me as you're talking about this is a tool that I learned a long time ago, which I need to get better at implementing for myself now that I think about it, is you can ask yourself, what is it that feels like it's missing to you, but you need to zoom in more than just a partner to make me feel not lonely. So what would you feel that you don't currently feel that you think a partner would give you? So what is the feeling that you're aiming for, that you're looking outside of yourself for someone else to give to you? And when you can identify what those are, and that will have to be something that you do, that's when you look for things in your life already that make you feel that way, things that you already have. So for example, what comes up?
Well, self-love.
Bingo.
I'm looking for love.
For love.
Love is right here.
You are love.
I am love. And so it all comes back. It all comes back to self-love. To me.
Right. My mother is her wound, the thing that she's trying to heal from is the same as you, right? And the mantra that she says to herself is, I am the self-sustaining love story that never ends.
I need to write that down.
Yeah,
that's good.
That shit on a Post-it note.
I am the self-sustaining love story that never ends.
Right. So it's her reminding herself that the love comes from within.
It does.
It comes from within. And here's the rub. It's my belief, world according to Melanie.
Give me a rub. Here's the rub.
Here's the rub. When you can truly embody that, and not just faking it till you make it, but when you can truly embody it, that I am love. I don't need to seek love. Love is not outside of me. I am it. And love yourself the way that you want to be loved. Well, now you're a vibrational match to that love coming to you from all directions every time you turn around. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. For those of you who are new around here, she does that a lot. Get used to it. It's happy. It's all good.
It's everything.
Yeah.
That's why we started the podcast. Because we would have these conversations just on your couch or having our walks, and she will say something. I'm like, oh, Eureka! Oh my. But it's really it's that reminder.
Yes.
Right? It's the reminder that we give each other.
Yeah. It's the
that's not something new.
Reminder. It's the recognition of what your soul knows to be true.
Yes. And I need the reminders.
Yeah. To me, it's goosebumps. I don't cry so much. I'm not much of a crier. No. I only cry when I'm really pissed off.
You cried yesterday. You got emotional.
I got a little bit. Like I did. The moisture
did, but it was close.
I was close.
You will.
I got a little verklempt.
I was like, oh, what's going on?
But it was happy verklempt. It was like a very happy moment. A little happy verklempt.
Riding high.
We were. God, these interviews were so good, you guys. For me, when I cry is when I get really angry. If I get really angry, and especially if I'm really, really angry at somebody I really, really love. And what I'm most angry about is the momentary distance between us.
Oh, that's what making you cry.
Really pisses me off. Like, no, I love the shit out of you. Why are you being that way?
Don't be
why
like
am I feeling separated from you right now?
That's when you really cry.
I get mad. That's when I cry.
I've seen you cry like that once. I don't want to see that again.
Yeah. Anyway. So you are the self-sustaining love story that never ends. And
hey everybody, it's Melanie from The Why of It All.
You guys already know Gina and I are passionate about healing mind, spirit, and body. And that's why we're proud to be sponsored by a brand whose passion for wellness runs as deep as ours, Tulip Blooms. Tulip Blooms is a family-owned American small business that handcrafts a variety of small-batch premium skincare products, such as their original flagship product, Rainfall. Rainfall is a luxurious, lightweight face and body lotion made with soothing aloe vera and a powerhouse blend of cold-pressed botanical oils like jojoba, rosehip, and evening primrose. Rainfall is my go-to daily body lotion. I love that it's made with only the highest quality of pure, clean, natural ingredients. There's no synthetics at all, and it absorbs quickly, delivering lasting hydration without any greasiness. There are many scents to choose from, even unscented, but my favorite is rose geranium. Rainfall is gentle enough for the face, nourishing enough for the body, and the perfect daily go-to, especially after sun exposure when your skin craves extra care. Visit tulipblooms.shop and use our exclusive promo code HEAL, that's HEAL, at checkout for 10% off your order.
And once you embody that, and like you said, not fake it, not just say all the words, but once you feel it in here, and that's where I'm at. Like, that's my journey. That's the, and let me tell you something. Tell me.
Tell me.
God, and for me, it's God. For anybody, it could be the universe, it can be whatever. I tell you, God is so good because He plants people in your life, whether they're forever or not, for a season, right? We know about this lesson, that help you facilitate growth, I feel like.
I think every single person who comes into our experience is there for us for a reason, to evoke something.
150%.
To either remind us of the truth of who we are, or to bring up the shit to give us another opportunity to work through it.
And so, like I said a few minutes before, 2025 was a rough year for me. Lots of rough moments and tough and trials and tribulations and pain and just growth, which growth is painful. It is. If you think it's going to be a cakewalk, it's not. And so what's beautiful though is that we interviewed a podcaster a few months ago. Her name is Dee. If you're listening, Dee, shout out to Dee. But she was one of the first podcasters that we interviewed, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And I think what's beautiful, and we've actually become very good friends now, which is a blessing. You know, some people, they stay and some people they don't, but when you have that connection, you honor it and you want to nurture it, which we have. And the crazy thing is, her whole thing is self-love. She has written a self-love book. And she sent me that self-love book as a, just like, hey, proofread this. I'm about to blast this out on ebooks and blah, blah, blah. Tell me what you think. And just reading her self-love book, which is like 12 or 14 chapters, 12 pillars, I think, of self-love. You should go get the book on Amazon if you haven't. But isn't it cool though, how that's the thing that I struggle with, and that you're, self-love, self-worth, those things, feeling that for myself and not needing external validation from others. That is, I think, that for me, one of the pinpoints, not needing that validation from a man, not needing that validation from and guys, can I say, I'm going off on a tangent, but from a very young age, I have been super boy crazy, like super boy crazy. Like, I remember like kissing my first little boyfriend, like in 4th grade, like in the back of my yard in the tree. Like, I've always been boy crazy. And so I can honestly say this is the last few months of my life have been the first time in my life where I have not been boy crazy. I literally do not give a shit about men right now. And I don't say that, no disrespect to the good men out there. There are a lot of good men out there. But I truly am at a place right now that feels, and this is part of my growth, to not have a man or a thought of a man be the focal point of my life. Because I have given my life and my energy to so many men, some that deserved it, some that didn't. It doesn't matter. The point is that I love where I am right now as far as that part of my life goes. men are not the focal point anymore. Dating is not the focal point. And I trust in God's timing for that. Do I want a partner one day? Yes, of course. Do I want to grow old with somebody? Of course. Do I want to share my life with a husband again one day? Yes, I do. But I think this is part of my journey, is to sit, be single, be still.
To learn to love yourself the way you want to be loved.
Yes. And to show myself that first, so that when I see it, I can notice it, or that I recognize it.
And if you had someone in your life right now, you wouldn't be working on that. You would be focused outside of yourself.
Right.
So it's like loneliness is a crappy feeling.
It is.
But it's the set of circumstances necessary to give you the space to focus on your own self and so healing those wounds.
I'm grateful for that. As painful as it is sometimes, and when I get but that's why we've got best friends like Melanie, because I mean the other day she checked on me and she's like, if you need to call me later, just call me. Like, I mean, just if you need to talk about it, just call me back. And just that lifeline, just you saying that made me feel so much better. And I didn't need to call you back in the evening, or I would have. I would have if I needed to, but just I guess I'm just super grateful for my tribe and the people around me that love and support me.
Good.
Yes.
I love you.
I love you too. I love you too. So, anyway, did you have any I don't know, rough shit happen over the holidays?
Super rough shit happened.
You want to talk about it?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know some of it, but kind of.
So my healing journey, as I mentioned, is physical body stuff. And I don't need to go back to the beginning right now, but in recent years, for the last decade, really, it's a chronic pain condition. And a year ago, when Gina and I first started this podcast, I was on a really, really good trajectory. I had this divine appointment. It got the exact right practitioner put in front of me to help support me in calming my nervous system. And as it turns out, after a decade of misdiagnoses and treatments that failed again and again and again, learning to calm and regulate my nervous system was the key. And in doing so, I sort of threw out everything else that I had been told over the decade prior. I'd been given a Lyme diagnosis, but 2 years of treating the Lyme didn't really make me feel any better. I had been on a really clean diet for a while, but that alone, it helped in some departments, but it wasn't enough to get me pain-free. So when I learned about this nervous system dysregulation thing, and I focused on that, I felt the best I'd felt in a decade, and I was damn near like good to go.
I mean, all your tools that you were using at that time in the springtime of last year.
Oh man, it was amazing. I mean, by the summer, I was damn near pain free.
You really
were. First
were.
time in a decade. It was incredible.
It was incredible.
And then comes the fall and the holiday season, and I have a sweet tooth.
I do too.
And I'm the kind of person who, and maybe this is something that I need to just, maybe this is something that I need to actually actively work on instead of just talking about it. But I've always been the kind of person where if it's not in my house, I don't need it. Like, I won't go to the grocery store and buy a bunch of junk food and buy sweets. No. In fact, I shop at the farmer's market. I live an extremely low carb lifestyle.
Yes, you're
high
very
protein,
healthy.
High fat works really well for my body.
She inspires me to
I don't need to buy it. But if it ends up in my house,
by who?
Then, I can't not eat it. Or at least that's how it's always been.
Yeah.
If it's in my house, I can't not eat it. Or if I go to a party and it's right there in front of me, I can't not eat it.
Of course.
And then with the holidays, there's the nostalgia around certain things. Like, we have in my family a 3 generations old apple pie recipe that is the best freaking, it is glorious. And it's part of my tradition every year for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. I make this incredible pie.
Which you should.
And then there's the holiday. Then there's the neighbors that bring over the plate of holiday cookies, and it just doesn't end. Between Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's just freaking
balls to the wall with
sugar. And instead of developing the self-control to say, I know this is not going to be good for me, and I know this is going to wreck my progress. I just say, I can't not eat it if it's in front of me, and then I eat it.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the shit out of it.
Yeah.
But by the time Christmas was over,
Wrapping up.
I was right back pain-wise to where I was last January.
Really in a lot of pain. And insomnia.
Severe insomnia.
Severe.
And so, I mean, I literally backslid by a whole year. And I was completely devastated by it.
Mm-hmm.
At the very lowest of the low moment, right after Christmas, I was literally ugly crying on the sofa with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think those moments, those dark moments, are about your inner being showing you what you thought was healed that's still there. Like,
it's still there.
We have this growth spiral, right? We've talked about this in the past. Healing is not linear.
No.
Some people look at it as a straight line and they think that you're just going to get better and better and better over time. No, some people look at it this way. I like the analogy of the growth spiral. Whereas you are intentionally working on your healing process, you're going up this way, but it means that you are revisiting the same wounds, but from a slightly higher vantage point.
I like that.
So in this case, I'm like boo-hoo, ugly crying, mascara running down my face kind of cry, saying the same things I was saying a little over a year ago. I can't keep living like this. I don't want to be in this body anymore. Saying, I'm going to be in a wheelchair by the time I'm 80. I'm right back to feeling like a 40-year-old in an 80-year-old body. And I heard myself saying those same familiar statements. The difference was, instead of saying them and believing them in the moment, I'm hearing myself saying them, and I'm also observing myself saying them. And the observing part of me, the larger part of me, is going, that's nonsense. Why are you saying that? That's not true, and you know it's not true.
That's gross.
This is just your pain. This is just, most importantly, this is just your fear.
Yep.
And that's it. It doesn't make it true at all. It's just your fear.
It's just your fear.
And so, but I needed to get it out. I needed to see myself saying, okay, this thing that you thought you were past is still there.
Here.
And then,
yep.
And then a bit of clarity came in, because I think that when we're in those moments, you have the opportunity, if you're not, I was fully neck deep in the emotion in that moment, but very shortly thereafter, I'm self-reflecting. And that's when the clarity came in of, the easy thing to do when you're someone who's dealing with chronic disease is to make it be one thing. This is why I feel like crap, and to identify the diagnosis of what is the exact right diagnosis that logically makes sense. And then you want to put all your energy into that thing. And if I could just heal this one thing, I'll be fine. And I did that. Like, I know over the last year, I convinced myself that the Lyme disease diagnosis was irrelevant, because if it was the Lyme, then 2 solid years of treating the Lyme disease, I would have felt better. And if it was just about diet, eating a pristine diet for a freaking decade, I would have felt better.
Right.
It must be the nervous system. That's the thing. And I can just ignore the rest. Although I maintain a really healthy diet.
You do.
95% of the time. But what the holiday sugar experience showed me is that it's not just the one thing. It's not just nervous system dysregulation. I can't ignore the rest. I don't hang my hat on any single one of them and make them the be all end all of everything. But there are multiple factors involved. And so what it clarified, and then as this clarity was coming in, I'm reminded, okay, I mean, maybe I need to not just completely ignore the Lyme diagnosis either. So what that clarity did for me, in hindsight, looking back at the experience, is that, number one, this whole thing about I can't not eat it if it's in my house. Okay, I mean, if I'm going to hold on to that, make that the truth for me forever, that kind of is, I'm kind of like giving myself permission to be weak in that department, giving myself permission to have no self-control in that department. And what it is I'm dishonoring what I know to be right for me. Instead of, I don't know, developing the ability to make good choices.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a bunch of people out there who my sister can have a piece of cake right in front of her, and she's like, I'm just not really in the mood. No thanks.
Yeah, I can too.
I have not been able to. So I need to stop saying, first of all, I need to stop telling the story to myself about if it's in my house, I can't not eat it. That's just a story I made up.
Correct.
So what I'm learning, what I'm getting out of this going forward into 2026 is, number one, care enough about how I feel to make the right choice in each moment.
Mm-hmm.
That I can't just completely stop making an effort every single day to regulate my nervous system. Like, I felt so good after a while, I kind of got lazy about the tools.
So I was just about to go with you. I was going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
I know for a fact how good you felt when you were using your tools.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you've been resistant to picking up those tools again? And if you have been, why?
Because the yapping chihuahua up in here says it's because I used tools to the point of exhaustion and frustration when they didn't work for over a decade. And it's like, I got to the point where it's like, I just want to freaking wake up and drink my coffee and go about my normal life. Like, I don't want to have to work on this shit every single day. But at least in this moment, and maybe I'll have a different point of view a little ways down the road, but I'm realizing right now it is important to care enough about how I feel to develop the good habits to prioritize my own well-being. And what's annoying is that I was saying this last January. Last January, it was prioritize my own well-being, and a little more than halfway through the year, I got a little lazy.
We all do, though.
Lazy, and then I made some bad choices over the holidays.
Yeah, and see, my struggles are with the physical activity, meaning I know that if I got more physical activity, I would feel so much better. My body would make the oxytocin and the dopamine, all those things that people that get, runner's high or whatever, like working out. And why am I being a little bitch about it? Why am I not making a part of and I keep...
You said that yesterday. You had me laughing so hard. Why am I being a little bitch about it?
About not cooking, that I don't like cooking. I told Melanie it was when we make it big that I'm going to hire a chef, and they're going to come in once a week and do my food prep for me. That's my dream. That's my dream. But no, because I just know, here's what I was going to say. We know we have the tools. We know the tools. You know what helped you back then in the spring. You had all these tools that you used.
And they worked really, really well.
They really did. I guess my point is not to say, oh, just pick up those tools and do it. It's not that, because you have to have a desire. The hardest part is just to start, right? Yeah. Where I'm going with that is that I want to get to the point for myself, not speaking for you, but where I see it as a privilege to work out. I want to get to the point where it's so important to me that I don't want to miss a day. It's a privilege for me to get and spend that time. It's part of that discipline. And that's basically doing something over and over and over until it becomes a part of your lifestyle. It's
like a non-negotiable routine.
Yes, it's like
self-care.
Yes, it's like I wake up and 4 or 5 days out of the week, I drink my hot lemon water with Himalayan salt. I also fill a Yeti up 2 or 3 times during the day. I mean, I'm so good at things like that. I eat fairly healthy. There's things in my life that I do have mastered, and that I make a part of as part of taking care of myself. Why can I not do these other things that I know will be so beneficial to my overall mental health, emotional, physical activity is shown time and time again. Just walking, even committing to walking 5 days a week. So I guess what I'm trying to say, I understand. It's incorporating those tools that we know, we preach about them. The tools, we have the tools in our tool belt. It's are you going to get them out and use them?
Yeah, and I have to be honest, and I don't really even think this is wrong. But I mean, even as we're sitting here talking, there's that part of me right now that's like, I mean, the truth is I don't want to have to be working on wellness forever and ever.
Mm.
Like, the goal is to get to the point where being well is my default state of being.
Yes.
But I choose to do things to support my own well-being out of commitment to supporting my own well-being. It's a choice, and most certainly not making choices that I know are going to sabotage my own well-being. And that is a big thing that's been highlighted for me since the fall, is like, I straight up looked myself directly in the mirror and was like, I know this is going to be a problem. I know I'm going to regret this later, but I'm going to do it anyway.
But I don't give a shit.
What?
But like, how did we go sober? Like, I stopped drinking 2 years ago. You really haven't drank. We haven't drank.
I mean, I get immediate negative feedback when I drink alcohol. My body, there's no buffer of time. It is virtually immediate that this makes me feel like crap.
Yeah.
So it's real easy to be like, I'm just not going to drink alcohol anymore because it makes me feel there's not even like a brief window of happy buzz. Like, I don't even get a buzz. I just feel like crap immediately.
But think about it. That's been an evolution for us because, I mean, 5 years ago, I could drink a drink or two, and yes, I still had the next day feeling, ugh, but I would still do it again. It's like when you eat sugar, you know, it's going to make you feel like shit, but you still do it, right?
What a great comparison, Gina. I never even thought about that.
You were saying it about alcohol. I'm like, that's how you feel when you eat too much sugar.
It's just the only difference is that there's a buffer of time. So for me, it's 48 hours later that the pain kicks up and the inflammation kicks up.
Your body.
Gina, you're a genius. What?
Einstein here.
What if?
What?
What if it was as easy for me to decline sugar and foods that cause inflammation in my body? What if it was as easy for me to decline that as it is for me to decline alcohol?
Now I'm asking myself the same thing because I need to give up dairy and gluten because of my eczema. But I don't want to. I'm being a little bitch about it. But exactly, why can't you look at sugar as alcohol? Because really you do get pain. You do. You have systemic. And here's the thing, Melanie.
I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, but you're blowing my mind right now.
Really?
It never even occurred to me until you said that it could be that easy. I am the only one making it harder than that. I am the only one making sugar,
something to think about,
giving up sugar harder than giving up alcohol. It isn't.
No, because it causes the same. You get major pain from inflammation in your body. Yeah. And here's the thing about Melanie and I. I don't know if you're going to agree with this. As we've gotten older, in our older age, Granny over here, what did I make? Oh, the gas.
Last night we were dying. Gina, we were out and about. We went out to dinner and we were about to head home. And she's like, I need to get gas. And I said, well, there's a gas station.
It's getting dark outside.
And I'm like, well, there's a gas station right next to my house. And she looks at me. She goes, is it well lit?
She's like,
tell me you're about to turn 50 without telling me you're about to turn 50.
And then I got home and I got my new MacBook Pro that Melanie's sister was so gracious to give me her old one. I'm like, sure, girl, I'll take it. Thank you so much. What a Christmas gift and birthday gift. And I'm here and I'm in front of her husband and I'm like, it's like this new, like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a big girl now. I've got this big computer. It's like a MacBook Pro, like big screen 15. I'm like, and I like, and I'm like, I've been sitting there and I'm like, I need to take lessons on how to use this thing. He's like, you need to take lessons on how to use your Mac. And I'm like, yes, I want to know how to do everything on here to the full capacity. And he's like, wow. I'm like, damn, I'm old and I'm saying I want to take lessons on my computer, but it's how I feel. Oh, but I had such a good thought. Hold on.
We were squirreled hard.
No. Okay, here's the thing about Melanie and I. And we're going to wrap it up in a minute, but don't you feel in the last few years on this healing journey, before we've been blasting it out for the world to hear, I feel like we have both gotten super, super sensitive. Super sensitive. I don't say that in a bad way. I say that, and you could say more in tune with our bodies, more sensitive to external carcinogens, whatever you want to call them, things that aren't good for us. Because 10 years ago, I was drinking. I'd have a cigarette every now and then. I'd eat like shit, fast food. Like, as the years have gone and we've progressed, you didn't used to always be this sensitive to sugar. I'm just saying.
No, I was the whole time. I just didn't know about it. And so that's the only slight adjustment I would make in what you say. I don't think it's that, for at least for me, I don't feel like I'm more sensitive. I'm just more aware, and I'm better. Despite this whole conversation, I am way better now at making good choices.
Maybe that, okay. So maybe I just like chalk it up to, my body. Yeah, I guess I just feel like I'm so sensitive with everything, but maybe you're right. That's another way to look at it. Like, I'm just more now protective of my health and the things that I know make me feel like shit and don't make me feel like shit. And so I'm thinking about all the growth we've had just in the discipline with that.
And I would say that also
Right?
carries over to the emotional stuff as well. Like last year for me, yes, it was Endeavor to Survive 2025. There was a lot of big, what did you call it? It was a doozy
It was a
in a lot of
doozy.
ways.
Shit.
But it was also for me the year where I stepped into to the greatest degree I ever have, letting go of caring so much about what other people think of me.
Mm,
It was to the greatest. I mean, that was my Achilles heel for almost my entire life, all the way back into childhood, was the crippling insecurity that comes from being terrified of being judged by others. And so 2025,
shedding.
I started out that year with the perfect trigger to give me the final push to cross that threshold into, you know what other people think of me is not any of my business.
So true.
And so in doing that, going through this year, coming back to what you're talking about of having enhanced greater than ever awareness,
yes,
and making better
that's
choices.
what I meant by sensitive.
Like I find myself ever since then really being able to, when there's a whisper of something that comes up, a little either insecurity or starting to judge myself or starting to worry what someone's thinking of me.
Yeah.
In the past, I would just spiral about it. And now I'm able to be like, oh, look.
Yeah.
Oh, look. Isn't that cute? Yeah. And really quite more easily than ever before, step into, it's not about me.
I love that.
What they're thinking right now, not about me.
It has nothing to do with you.
No, I know who I am.
Yeah.
I know what my intentions are. And if they're misunderstanding me,
that's their problem.
And there's nothing I can do about it anyway, so there's no point in tail spinning and spiraling about it.
That's on them too. That is emotional freedom right there, girl. That is emotional freedom. Being able to be in a place where you are so secure with yourself and secure in who you are and where you came from, being able to sit there, that changes how you move through life, period. And I'm having to go through this too, dealing with people in my life that I would probably prefer them not be but they have to be my life for whatever, for certain reasons. But learning how to navigate those relationships, but coming from a place of a more healed Gina, a more emotionally stable, secure Gina, a more Gina who loves herself and who is secure in who she is, doesn't need validation, doesn't need somebody to let me off the hook. When you move like that with people, that's like top tier. It's top tier shit right there. It is.
And, we're still processing through it all.
Oh, yeah. I'm still learning.
And again, I've said it like, how many times have I said, for those of you who are new here, this episode, I don't know how many times I've said, but for those of you who are new here, Gina and I never have and never will claim to have it all figured out.
No.
We're moving through this. And I don't know about you, but I feel like I am here on this planet to grow into the greatest version of me. And I don't think that is a journey that has an endpoint.
I don't think it
really
is.
Don't.
It's about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah, like I think that, and I'm not, that doesn't mean that I'm gonna, be an emotional hypochondriac and I'm always looking for what's wrong with me so that I can go fix it. I don't mean that. I just mean I'm always gonna be willing to self-reflect and spot the things within me that I'm like, I could grow there. I could grow there. And I'm not in judgment about where I'm at. It's just reflection. It's just looking back at it and go, oh, okay. Would the divine within me if I was operating purely from the love that I am, the love that I am, that is who I am, if I was operating purely from that, if the Holy Spirit within me, the divine within me, was steering the show, would I be choosing that way? Would I be thinking about myself that way? Would I be judging myself? Would I be fearful about this thing that I'm fearful? The answer is always no.
Always no.
So, we're going to continue to grow, and the goal is to become the greatest versions of ourselves that we can possibly be. And I don't think there's an end date there, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I like the idea of, until the day I die, I'm always stepping further each and every day into the greatest version of me.
That means this podcast is going to go on until
forever.
We're granny sitting on our rockers, 80 years old, saying, "Hey, girl, what you doing?"
Hey, listen, as long as we have a little college kid working on our social media and doing the video editing for us, by then, I'm fine with that.
By then, we'll have to be able to have AI do all bots.
Oh, that's true.
Bots will be doing it all.
That's true.
Well, by the time we're 80.
We'll just gab on camera and hit record, and then the bots will handle the rest.
That's the goal for the Why It All eventually. Yeah, and to still be doing this when we're 80.
I love it. If you have enjoyed this episode, we certainly have.
We have. It's been healing.
Yes. And a wonderful start to 2026.
Yes.
If you guys have enjoyed this episode, whatever platform you're on, please go down and hit the little positive affirmation button for us. If you have not yet followed our account or subscribed on, again, whatever platform it is, please do that. Between doing that and hitting the like button, that is the very best way to support this show. And it means a lot to us. Gina and I are still budding, growing podcasters. And every single time you hit the button, it means something to us.
It does.
Yeah. And also, if you have somebody that's popped into your mind that you think would enjoy this show too, share it with them.
Share it.
Yeah.
It's easy to share. It's a couple clicks.
It is. So we thank you all for being here, and we hope that you'll join us on the next one. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.